Hey, what's up guys? This is Oakley and we're going to be doing a massive battle. This is my continuation of my efforts to try and play as the various new factions. So here we go. This is going to be a massive 3v3 barbarian battle and it's going to be taking place at night. This is actually my first night battle that I've done, and I have to say it does look pretty goofy with the orbs of light around everyone. It's not like in Shogun where they had the lanterns over the various players, so that's a little disappointing and it does make for some goofy effects. But anyways, let's go ahead and take a look at the army. So we're going to be facing off against the Arverni, over here the Adrician Kingdom, and then over here the Aravaki. So they're going to be lined up here with Scutari, Painted Warriors, and then lots of the Balearic Slingers. Over on our side we do have two of the Gaetulians on that side, and my force here. And over here, Tillis is going to be holding down the fortress, the forest I should say, which is going to be kind of like our fortress on this side. I'll put it on slow motion just so we can see this. So he's got a lot of this noble horse in the woods here. His main front is going to be composed of tribal warriors backed up by lots of these Celtic skirmishers, more heavy cav. My own forces here, two noble horsemen, and then I put these mercenary axe warriors in the front. Then I have some noble swords, and then over here I have the Falksmen. So let's go ahead and take a look at this in the light. That's where I put these guys up here, and you'll see me deploy them to the front ranks just to get their devastating charge off at the opponents. And then over back here I have two of these Dacian skirmishers, they're ready to go. Some more noble horsemen. Over here, mercenary axe warriors, Dacian heavy bowmen, and then a lot of these additional troops, so the noble swords, and then we're moving our cavalry over on this flank. The opponents are going to be trying to push up the center, so you can see that here, they're going to be putting on the pressure with the slingers positioned behind. That's more than enough to tackle any of our skirmishers, so we're going to have to close the distance between these guys. And then in the center, they're going to try and bait us with these horse cavalry. I myself am extending some of my own horses through the gap here. I was trying to chase and catch these guys while they're out in the open, but they're too quick for me, so they're going to go ahead and pull back to their lines. However, I did have these guys sort of relatively close to the battle line, hoping to get shots off at them. That's going to force a charge from his cavalry. We're going to come out and pursue. So you have this big gap in here with whirling cavalry engagements in the center, and I'm just trying to bait his guys into sort of an assault, or at least try and get him too close for my guys over here to help support me. The entire force over here is going to be going for the flank. We're repositioning this side, and in the center I'm going to push up for an attack. And over here we have a big cavalry engagement on this side. So my guys came in to help with the strike, and it looks like we shattered the Arverni forces who are in the woods here. Tillis have some pretty good cav, so we're just forcing these guys back, and they're going to be reforming. And that's going to be my opportunity to strike in the center, because I know that they want to go ahead and reinforce this flank. You can see how his cavalry is going to go ahead and move out to help reinforce that flank. That's exactly when you want to charge through the center. So I'm going to be leading this charge with my Falksmen, so they're going to be coming open. They have some huge charge bonuses, so they're going to be coming in for the initial strike. I have my cavalry here to pull off his cavalry, but look at this. He's going to be coming in with all his cavalry here, and I was fearful of them charging into my ranks, so I was going to countercharge them with some of my Falksmen and my cavalry over here. Over on this position, we're going to be kind of meeting the two armies here, but that's going to be that side. Over here you can see the tremendous number of cavalries. They're going to, or cavalry forces, and they're going to go ahead and countercharge right now. So there we go, my Falksmen getting in on here, and some of the graphics are freaking out a bit at this point, so I'm going to go ahead and zoom out. But yeah, we do get some devastating charge against those guys. When you get a perfect charge, yeah, look, he's losing so many of his Thracian warriors. That's the advantage of the Falksmen, they just do a ton of damage, but then they are low in armor, so that's why I'm going to follow it up with my own charge from a heavy infantry, charging in with some allied noble horse and holding these guys back here. He's going to be trying to charge back in with his own cav, try and neutralize these positions. That's alright. My Falksmen did what they were supposed to do, which was break the enemy forces, and now I'm going to be reinforcing. So let's go ahead and look at this from the overhead real quick. So how it's playing out is we've gone ahead and we've attacked this flank, crushed it. That provided me the opportunity to charge through the center. It's a bit of a mess, and over on this side we have a big cavalry engagement on that flank, and the centers are facing off. So back to the center, I'm continuing to reinforce my positions, and I have my Dacian skirmishers here. They're going to be used to pick off his forces, his Thracian warriors. Those guys did get torn up, but they're going to be moving in on my position. But I always have more forces here, so some of these noble horsemen who are going to be able to countercharge these guys, keep them at bay. So basically my goal here is to just hold his forces with my guys. Some of them are in shield wall formation, and just hold them in place and allow my skirmishers to pick his guys off, and then hope that we can bide for time for an attack on the flanks and win that. Over here we're having a bit of a face-off and a skirmisher exchange. Over on this flank, he is doing a decent amount of damage with these Thracian cavalry, picking off our guys. Our position here is starting to be sort of picked apart, and over here the cavalry engagement could decide who is able to swing and attack the back, so they're kind of waiting for that to happen, and now he's going to decide to charge forward. Right here, I was a little worried about these Thracian cavalry who are moving right behind my forces. My guys are kind of tenuous in their grasp of this situation here, so I don't have much of a battle line, and cavalry in my rear is going to be a huge problem, so they're going to charge straight into my own skirmishers here. I'm going to go ahead and countercharge them with my own noble cav right there, so I'm going to be trying to ward those guys off. These night battles are pretty intense to see like this, although I do wish they redid the lighting schemes, but you can just see how intense this is. The main front here is starting to kind of collapse, although my center is holding strong. I have been able to crush through his Thracian warriors. Those are strong guys, and so now I'm able to push forward with my forces, and basically all he has left at this point is going to be these skirmishers. So I'm charging forward with all my guys, and now he's going to be coming back to reinforce. So I've cracked through here. I'm going to help even up this cavalry fight with my own forces, and over here it's a bit of a mess. We're going to try and clean this up. On this flank, the Iraqi is pulling back. That's a good move. He's going to kind of envelop these forces and go around the sides, and what he's susceptible to now is the cavalry, who seem to be chasing off his men and finishing off his forces here. So it looks like he's going to get enveloped. That's going to be bad news for us. We're going to have to clean up this fight as soon as possible. My noble horsemen here are getting a ton of kills. They're doing really well, helping me to clean up the fight, and they're going to help even up these battles. Some of these battles that you can see right here, very hard fought against Barbarian v Barbarian. So let's go ahead and look at this. More of these just cavalry roaming bands going all over the place. They're going to try and land more strikes on my forces. Free up some of his troops, so that's good. But my guys are going to be able to hold out for a decent amount of time. Although it looks like I'm losing more and more men, so I'm pulling these guys back from the extremes of my position. Here we go, they're coming back in. Over on this flank, we're getting in the thick of this force. The Gauls and Tillis are really going at it. So it's heavy armor against heavy armor. We'll see who comes out on top. The deciding factor is actually going to be when we're able to get forces around the side, so that's going to be our cavalry noble horse getting engaged here. These guys are going to come and help me even this fight here, and then I'm sending my own forces to help surround this side, and then you'll see me actually pull my horsemen who are over here. These guys are going to swoop back around and help even up that engagement. Meanwhile over here, they're still going to be helping to clean up this flank. I'm trying to get rid of his Thracian peltis, so just clean up crew on these skirmishers. He has a lot of them, so at the moment they're not doing too much, but if left unchecked, they'll do a lot of damage to my guys who are tired and who can't catch up to them. But Tillis is helping me to even up this fight. It's going to be a hard fought, and it's going to result in me having almost no guys left. Over on this position, the Gaetulian player right here, I think his name was Little Stewart, he just got picked apart here, and I think he ended up leaving the game. So he was just drawn into the center and then completely surrounded, and then all these slingers are just doing tremendous amounts of burst damage on them. So yeah, Noble Horse cleaning up the remainder of his cavalry. He still has some forces here chasing these cav, but these guys are going to be at the backs of our forces. So now we're finishing up these guys. It's essentially down to the Thracian slingers. However, my cavalry are continuing to just rack up the kills. These noble horsemen now are up to 3 experience just from this battle alone. They'll be continuing to put on the pressure. Like I said here, this is a pretty evenly fought battle. However, it looks like we are starting to turn the tide in certain places, but we do need more assistance. So I'm going to be moving in with my guys here, trying to chase off these forces and then position myself over here to knock out the remainder of Gaul's troops. We're going to pull through with some of our cavalry, get straight through to these Gallic hunters, so that's going to be crucial because they're doing a lot of damage to us. However, again, a counter charge from the heavy horse. So something I really like about these barbarian battles, it's a lot of action all the time, decent amount of skirmishers, but nothing overpowered, and a lot of cavalry engagements. So here we go, this is going to be the remainder of this entire slaughter, is now going to be moving up the flanks, so the clock is ticking for the remainder of the Gallic forces. So here we go, 2 of these cavalry forces coming in to chase those guys out, and he was able to crush this flank, so what he's hoping to do is recuperate, before this entire army here gets in position, and this is what we're most worried about. These guys have, yeah, they're not even tired from the slaughter they just got out of. A little bit whittled down in their numbers, and they don't have too much armor, whereas we do. So we're hoping to finish up that fight and then come back and engage. It looks like we do have a little bit of a cav superiority, although that's going to be determined. Over on this flank, we're going to be cleaning up the remainder of these Gallic hunters. They really have no support, so that's going to be perfect for us. Really going to be the opportunity to get a lot of kills. There you go, chasing these guys off the battlefield. They're going to be routing. And that's going to be it for the Gallic forces. Now that we have the full surround, my general also had the ability to provide fear in the opponent, so the scare ability and war cry, I can't remember what it is, but I had the ability to invoke fear, so I was going ahead and targeting some of these units. So for example, the heavy horse there I forced to flee and shatter, so that's what we're doing to speed up this process. There we go. We're going to mop up these remaining forces right here. So a victory on this side of the battle and the center, although it was relatively costly. So you can see the remainder of our forces here. Gaul is no more. And then over on this side, yeah, look at what's coming to meet us. Basically the entirety of this force. However, we do have some more armored spears moving into the side, but they're going to be able to be dealt with very easily. I do still have some guys over here that were in the woods, so they're going to be returning to the fight, these heavy spears. I'm going to keep them there. Actually, yeah, I'm going to reposition him in the woods because I want something on the flanks in case he wants to pull up through the center and attack us. I'll have something to position and attack on the flanks. So now we're going to have a bit of a face-off. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward this battle a bit more because we are waiting to recuperate basically how tired our forces were. You can see they're all tired to exhausted. So now we're starting to recover and we're waiting for this next engagement. So that'll be coming in the next part of the battle, and if you just take a look at this, it looks like it's going to be very, very close. We have a lot of heavy infantry, however they're all pretty much at half strength, so that's going to be a problem for us, especially when he can get shots off with his skirmishers, because that means, you know, he just targets select groups and they're going to be more than likely to shatter in the first couple volleys. But we decide we can't wait much longer. His forces are... Ooh. That was weird. Speed went up. Anyways, as I was saying, his forces are geared up towards the skirmishing advantage, so he can bait and try and kite the entire battle. So we decided we were just going to do an all-out charge, and it's going to take place across the road here. So here he goes. He's positioning his own heavy infantry up front, and these slingers are going to be positioning themselves here. Let's watch this charge. His men cheering his own forces on, kind of daring our forces to approach, but we have 3 lines of men. The first line, yeah, is just going to be completely taken out, so my skirmishers are going to be returning fire against his lightly armed forces. I was hoping to kind of take out as many of them as possible. I didn't want to return fire on his slingers. I knew his heavy infantry were the main problem, but here we go. I'm positioning these guys to charge around the flanks, so ignore his front, and here we go for the double charge. Charge all along the front. Counter cavalry charge, engagement here. Let's go ahead and watch this side of the battle. This is going to be very important. So this is where our cavalry from Tillis came and charged in, very heavy cav, and you can see what's happening. We're pouring in all of our forces here, and his noble cav is going to try and retreat. However, as those guys pull back, it means all of these forces are left exposed. So the painted warriors, yeah, they have decent attack, but against tribal warriors with a lot of armor, it's not going to be even an even fight here, especially now that we have the local surround. We're just forcing his guys back. So he's going to try and reposition and get some shots off, especially against my forces here, my heavy spears. However, my own, look at this, Dacian skirmishers have good stats, so they're going to be getting in on his forces, actually doing a lot to just mess up his line over here. It's even going to draw in his cavalry for the fight, and you can see them actually tangoing pretty well with these cavalry troops. I'm going to take a hit, but it's enough to distract his forces and allow us to clean up this fight. So my Gaetulians, the noble swords, my general is doing very well, and so we were able to clean up those forces, and now here comes my noble horsemen. These guys are heroic, so they're going to be coming in. The cavalry are going to be re-engaging with our forces, desperately trying to intercept us. However, one of them, the noble horse here, is going to be able to slip through the lines, so it looks like actually we're going to be able to collapse on these forces here. And then there we go. This is his main skirmisher line. No more do they have a buffer. We're going to be charging right through into them and cutting them to pieces. I'm going to follow that up with a charge from my own cavalry, pulling through the lines. He's going to see this as a very big threat, and so he's going to decide to target me. We'll have to wait and see how that goes. But they're very tired. If they were full of stamina, we would be fine in this case. But he gets some last minute volleys against my guys. That's going to do just enough damage to actually even up this fight. And my guys are going to start routing just because they're exhausted. And that first volley that he got off was just too effective. Over here I'm going to charge in with my infantry. And I'm kind of ignoring this fight. I figured we could take it. So it's basically my guys chasing down his skirmishers. That's going to be a problem if they have a lot of health remaining. Ammo remaining, because they can just turn around and pick off my forces. And this noble horse, if we had gotten rid of this, we'd be fine, but right now we've lost the mobility advantage. So that means these guys can run away as long as possible, and he can just countercharge us with these cavalry forces. So we're going to try and take those guys out as soon as possible. We decide to do an about face. These guys are going to go into shield wall and try and hold back this attack. But it's not really going to be enough. They're going to pull right through my guys. We are still alive, and we are getting kills. Look at this. We're engaging from all sides, trying to take these guys out. But look at this. All his forces on all sides. The slingers are just going to go ahead and nuke this entire area pretty much. So you can see the rocks bouncing off our forces. And they're basically just saying, I'm going to kill everything in this area. So that's probably a good tactic. Yeah, it's going to result in the sort of massacre of his own forces, but also our men at the same time, especially from the various angles he's getting. So our troops are going to go ahead and break, so do his, but that's going to be it for this battle. So an impressive 3v3 that came down to this many troops. Let's go ahead and watch the end results. So a ton of kills on all sides. Man, I got a shit ton of kills. Yeah, these noble horsemen are super powerful. I definitely recommend this. My foxmen did pretty well for the low value troops, and noble swords, like I was saying, these guys are just too powerful. And Stuart Little, who was facing off against Alec, yeah, he got demolished. That's where you can see the greatest kill discrepancy. Anyways, great battle. Hope you guys enjoy. See you next time.